In 400 AD, Jerome was translating Proverbs when one Hebrew word stopped him cold. He later wrote, "I've missed what marriage actually creates." The Hebrew reveals something husbands were never told. Marriage doesn't just join two people, it opens something. If your marriage has been under attack since the honeymoon, the fights that came from nowhere, the distance that crept in, the enemy that seems to know exactly where you're weak. You've wondered why hell targets marriages so aggressively. Now you'll know. There's a Hebrew word that appears throughout Scripture when describing authority and power. The word is sha'ar. We translate it gate, but sha'ar means far more than a doorway. In ancient Israel, the sha'ar wasn't just an entrance. Judges ruled there, deals were sealed there, whoever controlled the gate controlled everything. Gates weren't doorways, they were thrones. This is what Jerome saw that shook him. Your wedding day wasn't just a union, every vow you spoke opened a sha'ar. I take you, that opened protection. Till death do us part, that opened authority only death can close. You weren't making promises, you were being handed keys. Genesis says, leave your father and mother, that's not geography, that's authority transferring. Matthew says when two agree, it's done. That's not about prayer partners, that's about covenant power. Your marriage unlocked both, and you've never used them. Think about what you've been fighting alone, the addiction, the debt, the pattern you swore would end with you. You've been praying as one at a gate that requires two. Your spouse isn't just your partner, they're your co-ruler. The second key that makes the lock turn. If you're ready to use what your vows opened, stand with your spouse. Say this together. We recognize the sha'ar our vows unlocked. We stop fighting alone. We take authority together over our home, our children, our future. What our vows opened, we now walk through in Yeshua's name. Say it out loud, together. If you just declared this with your spouse, type "we walk through" in the comments. In 400 AD, Augustine was writing his Confessions when one Hebrew word ended his 30-year war with lust. 30 years. The prayers that bounced off the ceiling. Then one word, and it was over. He wrote, "I finally see why it always returned. Why every prayer failed. Why willpower made it worse. We've been fighting the wrong battle entirely. You know this war. Accountability software. Confessions to your wife. Promises to God you broke before the week ended. Still here. Still fighting. Still losing. No one has told you why." There's a Hebrew word that appears every time Scripture describes sexual sin. The word is gala. We translate it uncover. But that translation is weak. Gala means far more than uncover. It means to strip away protection that was never yours to remove. Not seeing something, taking something, not stumbling into temptation, committing an act. Now think about what you've actually been doing all these years. That image you looked at. You didn't just see a woman. You stripped her covering. Took something from a stranger that her husband was supposed to unwrap. You've believed lust was desire that overwhelmed you. A wave too strong to resist. Something broken inside. That's not what Scripture says. Gala changes everything. Lust isn't desire. Lust is theft. And you've spent decades trying to manage desire when you should have been refusing to steal. There's a reason shame hits before you even close the browser. When you take what isn't yours, you expose yourself. You strip your own covering off. You've felt naked for years. Now you know why. So how does it end? Not through willpower. You've tried that. Not through accountability. That manages behavior, but never brings freedom. It ends when you see Gala for what it is, and decide you're done taking what isn't yours. If you're ready to stop managing and start quitting, declare this now. I renounce Gala, every image I took, every covering I stripped. I'm not a victim, I've been a thief, and I'm done. I don't need what isn't mine. Clothe me, God, in Yeshua's name. Say it out loud. Your pride will resist. Say it anyway. If you made this commitment today, type "clothe me, God" in the comments right now.